better webcam actually. So, and we are live. Hi guys and girls, Gallifrey for 97 here. Welcome to today's live stream, where I'm joined by, as always, Adam Northwood-Huvium.
Hello everyone.
Hello, and I'm joined today for the first time. I believe it's his first hangout experience. The brilliant Philip Hawkins.
Hi, how you doing? Yeah, my first live stream ever. I've never done one before, so it's all
First time for everything. Yeah. That's brilliant. So we're going to be talking about primarily Arachnids in the UK, which is episode 4 of Series 11, which debuted last Sunday. So I've left it so long. I've had issues with my laptop, so this probably would have come sooner, but life stuff gets in the way. So we're going to be talking about the episode. So if you guys got any thoughts, comment in the comment section below. Any questions for me, Adam, or Philip. But first of all, I'd like to actually start off with I class as rumours so far. Is the recent news that Doctor Who might be not having a Christmas special and moving to New Year's Day. What are your guys' thoughts on that initially?
Well, it's part of my ritual of Christmas Day to sit down and watch Doctor Who. So it's a right disruption to my Christmas Day if it's not gonna be there. I literally plan the whole day around it. Like the timings of when we have food is based on when Doctor Who is on. So I don't know what we're gonna do. It's gonna feel like a big hole.
What about you, Adam? What are your thoughts?
I think now Doctor Who's moved to Sunday, they definitely seem to be experimenting with scheduling and stuff like that. So I'm thinking I won't mind it too much. I know Doctor Who, it very much gets everyone in watching at Christmas, but I feel like it will still do that for New Year's Day, because I know like programs like Sherlock that sort of kicks off the New Year's Day kind of thing. I think drama does really well on New Year's Day, or just as well, maybe a little behind Christmas, but I think it'd be cool. I guess if rumor has it, what we talked about before, it might be the only Doctor Who episode we get in 2019, if series 12 rather is going to air in 2020.
Yeah, I could agree like the scheduling thing, but as Philip said, it's like for us Doctor Who fans, it's been a ritual for over the last 12 years. But yeah, no, I think it would be another bold decision. But it would be weird, like you said, just not having Doctor Who on Christmas Day.
You don't have many people around on New Year's Day, so yeah, people might watch it, but you won't have the opportunity. I think there's more opportunity to get others hooked on it, because you put it on and the rest of the family watch it as well, who might not always watch Doctor Who. So there's missing out on a opportunity there, I think.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I say like family members, they sort of just tune in to Doctor Who, just say, "Oh, how's it going?" Like the people that, like you say, don't watch the series normally, just sort of watch the Christmas specials, just to see, "Oh, how's Doctor Who doing?" So yeah, no, I think it will have a loss in viewing figures. I think if it does move to New Year, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I think it'll be sorely missed, definitely. So we'll get us started with the review. I'm going to start off with the synopsis for the episode, which is from BBC iPlayer. So something's happened with the spiders in this city. The Dr. Yaz, Graham and Ryan find their way back to Yorkshire and Yaz's family, only to find something is stirring amidst the 8-legged arachnid population of Sheffield. We haven't all sort of talked about the episode beforehand. I spoke to Adam, but I spoke to Philip as well, but I don't know any of their thoughts on the episode, so it's a bit sort of like all new for us. So yeah, Adam, what are your opening thoughts on the story?
Right, so of course, 4th episode in, and I'm incredible. I feel very disappointed, sort of coming off Rosa, which is a very strong episode, like wonderfully told and beautifully written, and everything just seemed to fall into place. I think the story as a whole was fairly weak, with some supporting characters and sort of the acting there not necessarily, feels a bit camp and a bit I think sometimes a bit off in my view. I felt like for the first 5-10 minutes I felt I was kind of on board with it. I quite like the establishing scene of Chris Noth's character, or Donald Trump as it's now referred to, and them arriving in Sheffield and like I think like the whole like the stuff like the Doctor, Yaz, and Co going into the room, seeing like the cobweb person. I was like, oh, this. I feel like the story it had a good build up and feel like it was starting to go somewhere, but I feel like it never hit the landing sort of near like the middle and the end. But we shall explore further into detail as we go forward.
Awesome. Yeah, interesting. What about you, Philip?
Yeah, it was. I mean, especially what Adam mentioned it there, but the end didn't really. It was very anticlimactic, I think. Leading up to it, I think there were some good things and some bad things in the episode, which I'm sure we'll explore. But it was a bit of a mixed bag. I think overall, I would kind of say it was a meh episode. It was kind of it's gonna. I said this other places as well, but I think it's gonna be one we look back on at the end of the season, and it will be quite a forgettable episode in the whole of Series 11.
Yeah. For me, like I say, it was sort of like 50-50, like you think of a good thing from a bad thing. But yeah, like after it's just sort of a bit meh. But yeah, as I say, we'll be going into obviously details throughout. Obviously, this episode's written by Chris Chibnall again. What do you think about him having such a just pretty much writing? Obviously, he's co-written Rosa. But what do you think of him having sort of a lot of control over the writing for the first few episodes? Do you think it's weakening the stories, or if you want to start off?
It was kind of what David did in his first year as well, didn't he? He wrote a lot of the stories of his first year as well, and I don't know if that's. I mean, it didn't work out too badly for us to Davis. Maybe it's a good way of setting the tone that they want for that series, and then they maybe will take a bit more of a step back. Maybe he'll take a bit more of a step back next series. I don't know.
It's interesting because like his one's a standalone. Like the episodes he's written are fairly standalone. Like I know, like Moffat, when he like first started, he had like a couple of singles, and then he had like a 2-parter, and then did like the 2-part finale, with, like of course part 1 and part 2. Whereas Chibnall is more individual. Like I think because he kind of wants to do like a Base Under Siege, which will be tonight's episode. I assume he wants to do the kind of contemporary Earth kind of Pertwee story. He wants to kind of wants to go off the Ghost Monument story. So he kind of I guess what sets apart of other showrunners dips his toe in sort of different styles of Doctor Who stories before like giving others a chance. But it has felt a bit like the Chibnall show for the moment. But I think if they kind of spread his stories out a bit more, then because we kind of for the first 5 we've had 1 co-writing credit, and then the rest 4 have been main writing credits. If they were kind of spread out, I don't think I would have minded so much. But I just look forward to like fresh blood, I guess, from other writers, considering the other new writers are like new writers and not like Gatiss or any like reoccurring writers we've had. So, and I think with Mallory Blackman, it's proved really well so far. It's because of like Mallory Blackman did a script so wonderfully tight and personal. I just like that's the kind of stuff I'm like, getting on new writers. It's a great thing for the show. Keeps it fresh, keeps it going. Because we're Doctor Who fans, we kind of get the ins and outs of what his Chibnall style and his stuff. So after this tonight's episode, of course, we're going to be moving on to new writers. So it has felt a little stale at times, but I think we'll get hit the ground running. I think probably with episode 6, definitely.
Do we know if he's co-writing all of the ones which guest writers are doing? I
don't think he's co-writing the next one.
Okay. I didn't know if that was just something he was doing or throughout the whole of the series.
Yeah, because I didn't know he would be co-writing Rosa.
No, it was a surprise to me, which is why I thought, is he just doing this for all of the co-writing, all of the guest writer ones? Is he going to have a credit on there because he's inputted something into it?
Yeah, I think episode 6 is just a complete new writer, but it'd be interesting to see with the others whether he's co-written them or not. But for sure with episode 6, so we'll have to wait and see. As I say, we don't know nothing really past episode 6. We know there's a sort of kind of historical with James Alan Cumming, sorry. But apart from that, we just know nothing. So I have to wait until Doctor Who magazine, hopefully, to find a bit more about that. So obviously in the first scene, we're introduced to Chris North's character, who's obviously been played in Sex and the City, quite famous for that, quite famous American actor. yeah, obviously there are lots of parallels to a certain Donald Trump, which I thought was a bit on the nose at times. What did you think about his presence in the story?
Who else goes?
Yeah,
I think he did a really good job with what he was given. I thought he was a good. I think he performed it well. I don't think it was too hammy. But yeah, the Donald Trump parallel stuff was a bit on the nose, a bit too much, especially and weird because they also threw in that line about him hating Donald Trump, which just made it strange. So what? So he's planning on running against him? So does that mean he's a Democrat? Does that mean it's like, well, that's just it didn't really make much sense to me, but
nor me really. Yeah, I think he sort of started off like he performed it quite well. I think like the first scene, very. I just thought he was pretty much a dick, kind of right straight off the bat. You got a sense that he was a bit. I also got the think, oh, he's going to be clearly he's working for the spiders, and he was going to be more intertwined with that aspect of the story than he actually was. Which so it kind of surprised me that the spiders and like his character never like connected, because I thought he'd be like the controller of all spiders, that, and then at least, but never did, strangely. Yeah, I think the parallels just became more obvious, and as the episode went on, it's just like, yeah. And also Graham's line when he said, "Oh, God save us all," right at the end, it's like, yeah, I'm scared if, like, in the finale, he just comes back as president, and then suddenly we get like a dystopian kind of, sort of like a lie of the land kind of episode, where everything's just gone to rubbish as soon as they like return from adventures. That'd be scary.
Well, so we always see like a Harriet Jones situation where they sort of come back in the future and he's president.
I think we will see him again. They've left it too open to not. I think he's going to be. It'll be like might not even be this series. It might be series 12. But I think they'll bring him back in an episode where he is president, and he already has this sort of adversarial relationship with the Doctor now. So I think that will be quite interesting. That could be quite interesting to see him go up against, as long as they don't overplay the Trump parallels too much when they do it.
I thought the Doctor was going to be more angry towards him, the fact that, of course, he shot the spider, and because, of course, as we know, that the character doesn't like guns at all, and had a go at Ryan and the Ghost Monument for it. She was a lot more lenient towards Ryan than she was to Jack Robertson, I'm going to say, like the character's actual name, which felt really strange. I kind of thought, because I think for Jodie, what I feel like she got last week really well was the balance of, you know, the kind of mad eccentric, and yet also the very stoic, very confronting kind of, you know, kick-ass kind of Doctor. That doesn't take any rubbish, and, you know, sets the ground, and, you know, feels like the dominant presence. It feels like you don't want to upset him. Kind of like Pertwee, where you don't want that cape to, like, you know, you don't want that cape run through, and you see John Pertwee and he's having a go at you. You don't want that kind of thing. I feel like Jodie kind of stepped a bit back for a Doctor in that aspect, because I kind of thought there'd be a bit more bite to sort of that ending, like she'd be a bit more vengeful towards him. But maybe who knows? That's probably, if Christoph's character does come back, maybe there is more of a rage or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's been quite interesting actually to see all the villains have pretty much disappeared, haven't they? Also, we had Tim Shaw, obviously Transport. We had Art Malik's character disappear. Do you think this is a trend that will sort of come around at the end of the series, or
what we might get like a legion of super villains type situation where they all gang up on the Doctor at the end? I don't know. I don't think they should do that. I think that would be pretty cringeworthy. Up, but I don't know. I wouldn't mind like one or two of them coming. I wouldn't mind them coming back separately at various points, but I don't think I'd want to see them all in the season finale.
The Legion of Doom Doctor Edition.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. We're looking on to actually the new Vortex, which we got a glimpse of, which I thought was amazing. It's one of the amazing CGI thing. It felt alive. I felt it was had that kind of uncontrollable sense. Like it was just you do feel the TARDIS and just feel like it's going for like a storm. Yeah, what were your guys' reactions? Starting with Adam.
I assumed that the vortex. Oh, sorry if there was a little bit of an echo there. I think the vortex. I guess it's done by that John Smith guy who did the title sequence. I'm just led to assume, but I think like the visual style of it looked fantastic, and I love the music as the TARDIS is flying and it's crazy, and it really it definitely like threw you into the episode because of the very strong visuals, and it's unlike any kind of vortex really. It just feels like it's got layers to it, and it loads of different like sort of ends and pieces. It was visually stunning, and it was just really cool, and set to the lovely Sega Nakanola's music. Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah, it was. I love the best bit of it. I mean, it was visually very beautiful, but I love the fact that they sort of came out into that hub sort of area, which had all the different vortexes kind of going off of it, and it kind of felt for the very first time, I think, that it felt like the vortex was a place that needed to be navigated, as opposed to just hopped on and go. Like every other time, it just felt like you're going down a big tube, just as in one direction. But this kind of felt like, okay, you'd actually have to pay attention and to the TARDIS controls and set where you're going and navigate a bit more, because you come to these hub areas where you have to go branch off into different areas. And I love that was really good.
Yeah, I like that. It does add another dimension to the vortex, quite literally. Yeah, no, I thought it was an absolutely brilliant sequence. I hope we get to see more of that explored, going into all the different portals and that. Going to the characters now, I think one of the things we've been sort of missing, and I know Philip, watching your reviews, you've wanted this, but with Yaz, we've obviously had no sort of character development at all really with her over the past few episodes. We had little hints, obviously we know about her family and that. But this first episode, obviously we got to know a bit more about her. Obviously we got to introduce her family. Yeah, Philip, what did you think of Yaz's family?
Yeah, I like them mostly. I mean, the dad, you didn't really find out much about the dad. He was kind of just there, but you know, she's got a nice setup. I think we did get to learn a bit more about Yaz this time, so that was nice, because she had been sort of lacking in the development over the last few episodes. She got a little bit in Rosa, I think, with her interactions with Rosa. She had some nice moments there, so she kind of needed an episode, but I don't know. We got some nice background on her now, which is certainly a step in the right direction. But I still don't feel that we've necessarily got sort of an idea of an arc for her. Like how is she changing? How is she going to be different at the end? Right. Whereas I think that's quite a clear, you know, the relationship between Ryan and him is, you can see that changing every episode. There's nothing like that for Yaz yet, but with the episode coming up that's set with her grandmother as a young girl in India, I think that's a potentially good space for that. But you know, it was a nice start to getting some development for her, I think.
Well, you Adam.
Oh. Sorry, I had my mic muted. I think Matt Gill's doing a very good job with the episode. Like, I think she's given a really cool human performance, and there are moments. I think Rosa was definitely a step in the right direction, like helping Rosa Parks sort of mend the Doctor's coat, and yeah, I think she's clearly giving it all. And I thought we're going back Earthbound, we're going to see more of her family, and then it kind of also drives her to be like, no, they drive me mad. I guess I never really bought into that, actually. I think, yes, they were probably slightly irritating, but I'm like, I don't think they're really enough to be like, oh, I've definitely got to go and leave. I didn't necessarily buy into. I can kind of understand, like, Graham was like, of course, you know, his feeling about grief and how, you know, staying there, it reminds me of Grace. I've got to go and go on these ventures, and then Ryan's job, I get it. And it is clear, sort of on the outskirts, that she wants more out of, you know, she wants more out of life. She wants to really make something for herself. I guess, you know, the adventures will help in that regard, but I guess we haven't really been shown that or illustrated that much at all. So I was kind of a little disappointed that we didn't get a whole lot into her. But what kind of surprised me is like Jack pulled the gun on her and Yasmin's mum. Isn't Yaz a police officer?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good point.
I was just like, clearly Yaz would kind of step in and be like, no, I'm actually police. You know what are you doing?
Yeah, it's
I
weird
found
she
that
didn't
odd.
mention that, didn't she?
Yeah,
can arrest you.
exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I think I pretty much agree with all you said. I think it's a step in the right direction, obviously. But I still feel that there's more to it. And obviously, like you said, obviously the other characters, they've obviously clearly got a kind of like a necessary end goal. But I think hopefully, I think episode 6 will hopefully be Yaz's episode to fully shine and get to know her sort of completely. But yeah, but yeah, I thought, like I said, Yaz's fan was quite fun. Obviously, the mother was quite a highlight. What do you think about her comments on her sort of, I guess, predictions of who Yaz was dating? Did you find like sort of annoying or awkward or funny or?
It's what mums do, isn't it?
Yeah. Trying to guess everything.
It didn't feel out of place. It kind of felt like, yeah, she probably would be asking those questions.
Yeah, she did ask a lot of questions for that episode. She did get shut down quite a lot, obviously, by Yaz. But yeah, so no, it was really cool. I'd just like to actually say, Adam, where'd you get this photo from before I show it?
Well, I was just sent it
or?
via a group chat.
Okay.
It was from somewhere.
Yeah, I just want to show. So this is potentially the new 13th Doctor action figure.
Oh, cool.
5-inch line. So I don't know if it's because obviously action figures coming soon. So I don't know if it's.
What's weird to me, it looks smaller. I kind of thought, oh no.
Yeah, not too sure, but there you go.
So the really small ones that were released in 2014, I thought, oh god, no. They didn't have much detail and they're a bit naff, but yeah, that scale's good.
Yeah, it's then down here the 5.5-inch scale, so that's good for collectors. So hopefully we get to see more figures from Series 11. Obviously we had the a nice little subplot with Graham, I thought, this week. Still dealing with the death of obviously Grace, but obviously going back into that house. Obviously he's been on these adventures, and obviously it's still been there. But I think that's the first time he's obviously got to go back and face reality. What do you think of that subplot of him seeing her in that house? Starting with Adam.
Yeah, I think Bradley gave just a phenomenal performance, like all the way through. You can see a lot in his face, and I think it was kind of heartbreaking. Like Ryan was like, "Oh, do you want me to go with you?" And then him kind of turned, "No, I feel like I need to be alone for a while." I've kind of felt for him because like he's finally returned home, and after all that's happened, everything you just see everything trying to sinking everything in, and really trying to come to terms with everything, and seeing, of course, Sharon D. Clark reprise her role in sort of in the reflections. It was really nice, really well handled, and just oh my god, it was definitely the highlight part of the story, and I guess for many people we thought Bradley Walsh and Doctor Who, this would never work. I strangely beforehand thought I'm intrigued. Like this could be good, and then get a performance like this. I think he's becoming such a well-rounded, lovable character. So far, my favourite of the gang so far, and of course with that he decides, because of the grief it gets to him, it has like time to heal. I think it's time to, he says, so that does push him to go with the Doctor at the end. It's all good.
What are you, Philip?
Yeah, I Bradley, I think same as Adam, Bradley was a brilliant surprise for this series, because I similarly, I was a bit at the beginning when they announced him. I was a bit like, okay, I like that they're bringing someone older in. I don't really know him from anything other than seeing him a bit on Coronation Street from a few years ago, and The Chase. So and I didn't really know. I kind of assumed that he would be the comedy character in a similar way in a way that Donna was a sort of slightly comedic companion. And I kind of assumed, and then that would have been okay. But I've been really, really surprised, pleasantly surprised about how good an actor he actually is, and how well he does the very subtle emotions and just the facial expressions and everything. It's been brilliant. I said this to my friend who has the complete opposite opinion of me and doesn't like Graham at all. But I think he's my favorite new companion. I out of the three of them, I think he's my top new companion.
Oh, brilliant! I don't know who can't love Graham.
I know, crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I've never thought I'd hear that. So there you go. And obviously, also with that, obviously as with Ryan, giving a letter from his father, which again, this sort of underlining thing of trying to sort of say that Graham is his grandfather. We've got a subtle hint, and I just wanted to say it, like, call him granddad. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully we'll get to see that at the end of the series. But yeah, what did you think of that sort of subplot with the letter? Go, Adam.
It was a nice scene between the two of them. Just sort of back and forth. And I do like Ryan for the moment. He's like, he got kind of irritated when his father let it sort of refer to like that family as like proper family. And then it kind of opens up to the fact that he is warming to Graham, because of course there is that kind of back and forth that they've had, that Ryan's not necessarily accepting of Graham, and we from episode 1, but we'll get to a point where they will accept each other. And me and Reese were actually having this conversation beforehand. I hope it happens before the finale, because assumption is Ryan kind of accepts that Graham's the granddad and accepts responsibility, and then he dies. But I kind of want it to be either in episode 6. Reese brought up an incredible storyline, which I thought I really want to see, because the Demons of the Punjab, which is the following episode, Yasmin's going back to see her grandmother, and that in some way, because of that chemistry, that will inspire Ryan to really accept Graham in his life. So I hope there are a couple episodes where we do have that, where Ryan does accept him, and really, and they have some proper bonding before. I don't know if Graham does die. I'm not to say he is. You never know. Bradley Walsh might be very keen to sort of explore more, but of course he is a very popular man. He's got another quiz show up and coming, and he, an all-round entertainer. The world can't get enough of Bradley Walsh, and I hope he brings out a third album. So we'll just see how it goes. But yeah, I don't want Graham to go if but it might be possible that he might, just because it is Bradley Walsh. It was a well-known name.
Yeah, Magic Girl fans made some interesting comments in interviews about all that. Just sort of saying, "Oh, don't assume we're coming back." So it depends. As I say, I'm quite interested. I don't know about you guys, but I've really fell in love with this TARDIS team. I just think the chemistry is absolutely amazing between them all. It's just like, if one of them wasn't there, it'd just be a sort of like a horrible sort of like void. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see about that. I'm just going to get the comments to see what everybody else is saying. We have Alan, who says absolutely love the new series, enjoying the reviews. We've got Jeff, who says, I think that Yaz is an adventurer. Her family wants her to fit in a box, marriage, kids, etc. But she wants excitement. The Who Addicts have commented. Hello. They said bring back the 5.75-inch fingers. I don't think they went down too well, but I think a lot of people were saying that. On the image that was I just shown you, it does say 5.5-inch figures. Awesome Source Film says the new Vortex. What I like about it is that it's not just a tunnel anymore. There are branches and different exits. Yeah, that was as we said, it was really cool added feature. Also Jodie, who I thought was just obviously again brilliant in the role. I think. What did you guys think of obviously, I think that you got a lot to explore with like human reactions. This episode obviously trying to sort of fit in, being that sort of like fish out of water, like it's obviously alien. What did you think of her sort of like banter with all the many characters in this episode? Start with Philip.
Sorry, I didn't quite get the reference of the question. So the banter between just what, the companions and the Doctor, or just everyone?
Yeah, just basically everyone. Obviously, you had obviously interacting with Yaz's family, trying to have like conversations. And obviously when they're in the hotel, obviously trying to make reference about Ed Sheeran, and do you know what I mean, that sort of like showing that she's
the Starlight family. So Yaz's family, I think there was some, you got the gist of the sort of sibling relationship there that she'd alluded to in a previous episode, where they don't all the jibes and stuff. It kind of set it up quite nicely. The Doctor is as the Doctor always is, very much likes throwing in the little quips and stuff, and I quite learn. And I thought that was really funny, and diffused. The Doctor does that to diffuse the situation quite a lot of the time, and you're never quite sure if she knows that she's being obtuse, or if she's actually generally confused and doesn't know who Ed Sheeran really looks like. So yeah, it was nice. There was quite a lot of nice interaction, and what I'm loving about this series is that all the interaction, even when it is a bit silly, like the Ed Sheeran stuff, I like the way Chris Chibnall writes dialogue between characters, and it always feels very real, which I really like.
Yeah, the characters are definitely the forefront, which is what obviously did so well, and obviously Broadchurch and Torture as well. Which I guess that I guess the stories have been kind of suffering with that being sort of secondary. But I don't know. Yeah, what do you think, Adam?
Jodie, I think, is very good. I think she does do comedy and zany well, and I guess something that I didn't necessarily buy with Peter Capaldi necessarily, because I always thought Capaldi's more straight and focused and straight to the point. And Jodie, I guess, with a younger actress, particularly one who's very new to the franchise, I guess can get away with it a bit more. I found some of the I get, of course, it was playful banter, but I feel like the Ed Sheeran joke, tad, like, yes, you got your pop culture reference in there, and it feels like normal, but at the same time, I'm just like, I think sometimes there is a point. Maybe I think she took it too much to the zany extreme rather than also the kind of held back extreme that I felt like was more balanced in Rosa. Like I like the Banksy joke, because I think it was a little more subtle, I guess. But also there is that line in this episode where I think she's like, "Oh, I still haven't figured myself out yet," despite the fact, of course, she's in a new costume and got the new TARDIS and everything. That I guess in herself, she's still uncertain. So much to the point that she doesn't know she's dating Yaz. I mean, I don't know what's going on with that, but yeah, it's a bit nuts. But yeah, I hope it's a bit more controlled. I love that good balance. I think I got it with Rosa. Didn't so much get it here, but it was more one side than the other. But I think Jodie can pull it both off well, and it's a case of a good actor to really showcase every facet of the character well, basically. And it's all down to writing and stuff like that, and what they highlight and stuff. So it's all down to what the writers want us to feel.
Exactly, that's what comes down to end of the day. Yeah, like I said, it's a very thin line, obviously, like playing between that eccentricity. But again, I think she does very well. Speaking of other characters in the episode, it's quite at the end of it. I remember when they walked around the hotel, I was like, damn, there is a lot of characters in this. We had Dr. Jade McIntyre, who was basically, I thought the scientific exposition person of the episode, pretty much. Not you guys, but I say Adam mentioned that she was Osgood 2.0.
Yeah, I did get that vibe, to be honest. I felt a lot of her dialogue. I thought I could imagine like Ingrid Oliver's Osgood and that kind of. I guess dare I say it, like I'm surprised Unit weren't featured in this episode, as it is more, you know, earthbound and contemporary. But I guess, you know, you want to do something new, you want to bring in new characters, stuff like that. But even so much as to say, oh look, Kate Stewart's about him or something, because like Chibnall wrote Kate Stewart's first episode, and I kind of thought maybe if he had, you know, like with sort of, I guess like with like writers like Moffat, like wrote with something like the Tenant stuff. Then he took over. Then when he took over the show, I thought, oh, I can, you know, bring her back and, you know, carry on. So quite surprised. Maybe we will revisit, I don't know, Captain Jackal or something, or maybe a character that he's had a hand in that maybe he does want to, maybe he's not quite finished with yet. But yeah, as with the character herself, I think she filled that role quite well. I think she did a decent performance. A tad, you know, she gave quite a bit of exhibition. I'm exposition. There we go. Got there in the end. Yeah, quite a bit of that info dumping, particularly near the end. But I think she worked pretty well with Jodie. They were quite a nice tour de force, and I think what distracted me, they were having a conversation with each other, and then Ryan's doing shadow puppets in the background. Well, that was quite a nice moment. It's kind of interesting because, like, I don't know if many people would pick up on that.
What were you say, Philip?
I did not notice the shadows. Everyone's been talking about the shadow puppets since, and I've been like, I didn't see any shadow puppets. It completely missed me by that. Did
you spot on a rewatch or?
No, I didn't. I have rewatched it, and I wasn't actively looking out for them. So again, I think I missed them because I forgot to look out for them. I think.
Yes, it's when she's when Jodie and Jay's on the board, and she's doing all the zigzaggy stuff for the web, and you just just see him in the background just doing I posted it the first time, but I was watching a big TV, but I was like, is that what he's doing? But this spot I do is quite funny.
Yeah, I thought the scientist character for me was the weakest in the whole episode.
Okay.
I thought, and I don't know if it was the writing or the putting it too much on the actress, but it felt very wooden, and it felt very expositional for just exposition. She was there just to spout the exposition, and it consequently did like a real person some of the time, which surprised me because Chibnall has been so far really good at writing real people, and so yeah, she didn't quite work for me. I don't know if she necessarily needed to be there, but
no, I didn't know, to be honest, if she's got more consequences. Because obviously, I know it wasn't. The way I saw it was her and kind of Chris North's fault for the spider kind of outbreak. But yeah, I know what you mean. Just like if she wasn't there, would she be that Denny Miss? I don't know. A bit version. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like I said, it's a shame actually because she did sort of suffer character-wise. Obviously, like you said, everybody else had great moments to shine, which is a real shame. Going on to the kind of main kind of draw for the episode of film, what most people I spoke to and were sort of debating not to watch the episode because of was the spiders. Now we get many different shapes and sizes of these different spiders. I thought they were brilliant. Actually, I thought as a CGI creation, I thought they did brilliant. I think there was a few times it was like practical effects, but I thought it was really sort of done really well. What do you guys think of the spiders? Starting with Adam.
Yeah, I'd say they're visually very well achieved. I can imagine. I think this has been the case for quite a few episodes. Of like, if I was 10, if I was like 8 years old, hiding behind a sofa, like I can see myself doing that. And there was, especially when you first see one of the like the flatmate like cobwebbed for the first time before. Oh God, it's quite gruesome. I think it kind of drops I don't think necessarily, like when it eats up Kevin, I guess, when Kevin's like dragged through the bathtub, I thought, oh my God, the spider was really going at him because you thought for a moment he was dead, and then like he's still like, you know, in pain, just like drag. I thought, oh my god. So they were cool for the screen time they had. Yeah, they had some really creepy moments, and yeah, just cool horror stuff in there, and which yeah, it kind of sort of later was a bit lighter, when you kind of when the doctor's like seeing the spider, it's like, oh poor mother spider, and the fact that it kind of did kind of turn on the head, they're just like, oh, now these, you know, creepy looking spiders, you know, now we're gonna be like, oh, it's kind of it is what it is. But yeah, just we eventually felt sympathy for the spiders, which is something I didn't think we necessarily get. I thought we'd just get a full on. They're flat throughout the story. They're creepy. They're pesky. They are up to no good. But yeah. They were cool. They were the best part of what they were explored with. Yeah. Sorry.
No. The CGI was definitely really good. I think it's probably they've got that new company in to do it, haven't they? That has worked in Hollywood and things to do all the graphics and the special effects now, which I think is definitely paying off, because compared to some of the, you know, even more recent series, there's been Peter Capaldi had some shocking CGI in some of his episodes that was quite cringeworthy. So it's nice to see that sort of step up, and you could see the fur, like the fur on them and things, and so certainly they looked great. And in the earlier, I think in the first half of the episode, they were very creepy, and the way they had them appear like under the bed and things, pulled it off quite well. And it looked, you know, it was creepy, and it probably freaked a few young kids out. I didn't let my daughter watch it because she's almost 4, and up until now she's been staying up late to watch Doctor Who with me every Sunday. But I thought not this episode, because she's not currently scared of spiders, and I didn't want to start her off being scared of spiders. So we gave that one a miss, but.
Yeah, best off, I think.
I would actually, I hope you guys don't mind. I feel like I've sort of kind of paused the hangout. So I'd like to ask you, Philip, of course, you have a young daughter, and like Doctor Who, I guess in the Capaldi era, has been on like quite late on Saturdays, and I guess for many like people, like it kind of turns out as our Doctor Who's on too late and we can't watch it. And also like Sunday, it's a school night. So I just kind of wonder how that's kind of been, that it's on like it's kind of like it's on like a 7 o'clock, which I guess, you know, is access to like a lot of younger people for, you know, I can let my kids stay up and watch Doctor Who. Like I just wanted to know how that's been.
Yeah, it's been great actually. I was really pleased with the time. I was actually kind of hoping it would be like half an hour earlier, even, because you do have to keep her up a little bit late for it. But and sometimes she's been, because she's usually very tired, and she'll get too tired, and then her concentration will wane, and she'll go off and do something else, and like only she won't watch it constantly, just like bits of it. But no, it's been good. I'm glad they moved the time of day. The school night doesn't affect us, because I'm off. I don't work Mondays, and she doesn't go to nursery on Mondays because I don't work on Mondays. So actually, it's kind of like a weekend night for us. So Sunday night hasn't impacted us.
That's cool, because I know for many people, like when Capaldi, because you have like some Capaldi episodes that are on like 8 o'clock, like maybe even like going like past 9 o'clock, which I thought was really bizarre. But now, like, they've kind of, you know, and it's consistent as well. Like we've had it sort of basically between like 2:45 and 7 o'clock, which is fantastic. I think tonight's is 7 o'clock, which I think, you know, and they've basically been able to like keep it up. Nothing's like changed too drastically, which I think is brilliant. And I'm so far happy it's moved to Sundays. It started to feel strange, I guess, with like the first, maybe even second week, but then as of like right now, I'm feeling like, yeah, this feels right.
Yeah, I agree.
Awesome topic point. I do apologise there. My cat, the cat decided to come in.
That's all right.
I was just like, shit, that was a great topic. Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, as we said, the spiders visually are just absolutely brilliant. Some really creepy moments. But unfortunately, story-wise, it was quite weak. What's as like the overall plot? What do you guys think of the story of the spiders and the way they were resolved as well, I guess.
I think the worst thing was the resolution. I mean, the plot itself, I didn't mind anything about the plot. I think the whole toxic waste environment I think lots of people have compared it to the Green Death in terms of its themes and things, and I think that's all fine. I didn't mind any of that. But the resolution, it just ended so abruptly and out of nowhere. It was just very anticlimactic, I thought. And you kind of there was the Doctor rallying everyone and getting gathering supplies and getting some kind of plan in order, and then all of a sudden somebody's fired a shot and it's over, and that's it. And it was just a bit, oh, is that it? Oh, okay.
What were you, Adam?
I kind of, well, like these episodes, I guess, like sort of 5 minutes longer. And you think for a longer episode, you think, oh, now that episode's longer, it'll have the episode, breathe a bit. And I sometimes enjoyed the slower pace, but then I found this, I guess, more of a slog than others. A lot of it, because you're keeping up with like the exposition, and considering Jodie speaks at such a rhythm and such a fast-paced rhythm, sometimes it's just like, wait, Jodie, calm down. I call her Jodie, like the Doctor is like, all right, okay. Sometimes it kind of goes sometimes fast, a little slow, and then as Philip was saying, the fact that the spider shot, walks out the room, and then what I don't like is it then cuts straight to Graham, Ryan, and Yasmin reuniting outside the TARDIS. I thought, where's the goodbyes to Jade? Is it Jade? McIntyre? Yeah, the scientist, or like anything like that. I thought she'd at least get a handshake or like a hug or something, but we didn't get any of that, which it's a bit, I think it kind of cut too abruptly sort of near the end, and sometimes felt like it could have been some bits could have like cut to get like been like tightened a bit better and stuff, and some things could, but I think it wasn't the best, it wasn't the most well-paced Doctor Who story, but and sometimes you feel like, wait, it feels like sometimes it's missing a scene, considering the fact that episodes are now being like extended as, we've got time for that, but I don't think they've necessarily used the time and pacing well in the story, just in my view.
No, I completely agree. Like I say, obviously we've had the 5 minutes extra for the episodes, and I don't think that was well utilised really here. I thought the death of the spider was quite quickly, like I thought they were going to sort of more of an emotional impact on that. They completely just went on to Chris North's character, but like Philip, there's just like a lack of an ending really. I didn't mind the Stormzy thing. It was quite a meta kind of. What are your thoughts on the Stormzy thing with the music of that?
That's all right.
Yeah,
I'll say like it seems like a very Ryan thing to do because he's 19. Like because we had that in the Ghost Monument, the Call of Duty man, him going out and shooting those kind of robot guards. So I was just like, well, it's fitting with the character that and Ryan came up with the idea to get them all together and save the day, which is quite cool. It's quite cool that the companions do have like a hand in it instead of just like them stepping back and watching the Doctor buzz her magic sonic screwdriver and everything's okay. I guess it kind of humanized it. It felt like, because we're getting used to like pop songs in Doctor Who. Like we had Rise Up, which I thought was used so effectively, and then I never really didn't mind it because I know a lot of people are kind of a bit cringy about it, but I think it depends it's all in the context, I think, and it was really cool. But I guess I just never thought I'd hear it. I thought this feels wrong, but I guess it's also fitting at the same time. You're conflicted with yourself, but in the end, it's all right.
What I liked about it actually was the moment where Ryan, where Yaz doesn't know what he's talking about. He's like suggests this thing, and Yaz is like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Oh, you're so uncool, Yaz." What I liked about that was that it shows that that not all 90, because they're the same age, not all 19-year-olds have the same tastes, have the same opinions about things, know about the
Very
same
true.
music. And I thought that was quite a nice thing to put in there.
Yeah, I never really saw it like that, but no, yeah, it does show like I say, we have different interests and that great stuff. Is there any other moments for the episode that were like highlights for you, or you want to sort of talk about?
They all get to leave and pull the lever together. That was nice.
Yeah, I liked the not the ending of the plot, but I liked the way they all have come to decide they want to join the TARDIS team, Team TARDIS, full time and travel with the Doctor, because that's the kind of plot that it's taken 4 episodes for them to get to the point where they're like, I want to travel with the Doctor, and that's usually something that happens over the course of just 1 episode. And I think it's very much Chris Chibnall's thing that he's taking time to establish stuff, taking time to change people's emotions and time and opinions about things and what they want to do and who they are and things, rather than rushing it. That maybe the previous companions have kind of gone a bit like, oh, I've met this person, I've had an adventure, yes, I'm coming with you, all within the space of, from their point of view, a couple of hours. It's quite nice that they've taken the time to sort of reach that point.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think it's been really nicely sort of paced, really. Like, as I said, usually with like, most opening episodes for an era, like you kind of have a checklist, don't you? Like, right, let's see the new TARDIS, let's do this, let's do that, blah blah blah, new Sonic, da da da. But by the end, as I said, at the end of The Woman Who Lived, Woman Who Fell to Earth, sorry, not the book. Yeah, like as I say, it was just like, oh, hang on, like we hadn't seen this, we hadn't seen the entire sequence, and yeah, like you said, it when it actually happened in episode 4 that they decided they wanted to go. It didn't, like you said, as Philip said, not like a generic decision, just being like, oh, okay, let's do it, just spontaneously. It felt like a natural progression for them, because obviously they wanted to primarily over the first 3 episodes wanted to go home, but then they realised that obviously that was through grief and personal struggles and that.
It's funny actually. I do feel bad about interrupting, but there's always every week I get to sort of I get to learn more about the sort of the new TARDIS design, because as I introduced in episode 2, in episode 3 we had that column moving up and down. I was, oh my god, the column moving up and down! We get to see that for the first time, and then for the first time in this episode, we saw like the Gallifreyan symbols like on the bottom. Like, which I think in like the behind the scenes like stuff, I think they showcased that, but like in the actual episode you get to see it, and I thought it looked really cool. They're showing off the set a bit more. It's a cool set. I can imagine, stepping on it. Apparently Mandip Guild did say it was a bit too small, which is something that you wouldn't necessarily associate with the fact that this machine is bigger on the inside, but heyo, I guess because you had like Capaldi's like massive 360 set with all the the upstairs and then the downstairs stuff like that, but this is a kind of they showcase it. I'm sort of warming to it, I guess, because I wasn't quite keen on the design necessarily when it was first in the Ghost Monument, but there's sort of a lot of things we kind of do learn about it. So I'd say it's not like changed. It's not going to be like a new favorite, or like, I think it would be one I would appreciate a little bit more over time.
I'm still not sure. I'm still not convinced on the TARDIS.
Yeah, I'm always 50-50. It's like, this is good, but then,
Yeah, I quite like the TARDIS. I think I don't call the crystal stuff. I was quite into crystals anyway, so it was quite like a cool. They incorporated that. Like how it was like sort of done with the Sonic. I think initially when I first watched it, with the Ghost Monument, I think the lighting for the set has definitely improved. I thought it was really, and obviously it's got that sort of dark atmosphere, but I thought it was like super dark in the end of Ghost Monument. But I like how they've better lit it throughout the episodes so far.
I think I should just be grateful that they brought back the space-time visualizer when they're watching Rosa Parks at the end of Rosa Parks.
Yeah, I also like how she doesn't really know what all the buttons do yet. I think that's quite funny, trying to figure out where everything is still. Like, it's not just like, oh, like new TARDIS, this is where everything is.
I'm one of those people who want to know where the diagnostic panel, where are the telepathic circuits and everything, because I'm a nerd and I just got to like know.
Are you buying
I got to know what everything
manual
does.
then, Adam? Are you going to buy the new manual?
Oh, I think I've got to now. Actually, yeah, it does look like a really cool book, actually. So yeah, that book will solve all my life problems. That's the key. That's the key of the BBC. There's like, and if you want to find out more about the TARDIS, you can buy the new TARDIS manual. It'll tell you everything. So like, yeah, I do see what they're doing there. It's a nice marketing ploy, and yeah, I will buy your TARDIS manual, BBC.
I think I should give the Doctor a copy.
True, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So I think they've covered most of everything. Is there any other last minute things you want to cover before we go into our conclusion, or?
No, I don't think so.
Nope. Cool. So, Adam, what are your concluding overall thoughts of episode 4?
Okay, I think on reflection, I don't know where I sit with this episode, because I think it was a step back from Rosa, but there are some moments in there that I quite like. I think the character moments are very well done with Graham and Ryan, and you know, I think I quite like Yaz's mum. So there's some good supporting cast performances. Then Christoph, slightly over the top. I guess that was the point, but maybe slightly too hammy. But I guess that's probably the go for, considering he's parallel to Trump. Jade, that one, mostly exposition, but and if she's a kind of I don't know if she's going to be one of those things that maybe she might pop up again, like the kind of on Earth kind of scientist, maybe like a kind of Osgood kind of reoccurring character, then I'm not too keen on that. If they, well, I wouldn't mind, but like, you know, this episode didn't really sell me on there. So supporting cast, but I guess like okay. Spiders were pretty cool. Had some decent scenes. So I feel like I really am more 50-50. I thought I was going to be angrier on this episode than I thought I was, because when I first watched it, I was a little tired and a little out of it. But I think when it comes down to it, it's probably one I would skip if I was watching it. But yeah, we'll 5, I guess. You know, I didn't feel too angry with it, I guess. So I'm going with a 5.
Cool. Yeah, it's like Philip said. It'd be interesting to see it where it sort of stands once it finishes. The series is finished. Seen it as a whole. Yeah, have you got any closing thoughts on the story, Philip?
Yeah, it was a very mixed bag, I think. Like Adam said, it had some good points, it had some bad points. The good for me were Ryan, and a bit more development on the Ryan and Graham relationship. That whole letter thing was quite nice. I quite liked that. I always seem to get a little moment between each other each episode, and yeah, that was nice. I liked Chris North's portrayal of it, but I think the Trump stuff was a bit too weird, especially, as I said, considering he then said he hated Trump. It was just very strange. So there were good points and bad points even to his character, but I don't think he was too hammy. I think he was just about the right. He pulled off the hamminess, I think, in a nice way. So that was good. The spiders were well done, creepy, and the plot was going absolutely fine right until the end, and that's when it fell apart, because they just didn't pull off the ending, which was a shame. So yeah, there were good things or bad things. Oh, and yeah, the scientist woman didn't quite do it for me. So yeah, it's going to be a very, I'd say maybe just about give it I can't remember what I gave it on my review. I think I gave it a 6. And I think, having had more time to consider that, I'd probably still give it a 6. Maybe it'll either be a low 6 or a high 5. I think it's going to be an episode that you can look back on and think, yeah, like Adam said, I won't necessarily rush to rewatch it. I'll probably only ever rewatch this episode again if I'm doing a marathon of the whole series, and I'm a completist, and I don't like to skip episodes when I'm doing that. So that's probably the only reason I'd ever return to this episode.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, again, so sort of 50-50. Like you said, obviously had its good points, but then the bad points as well. I said that again, like the supporting characters. I say Chris North, I said, a good portrayal. Again, it could have come across quite gimmicky, but I think it had a real sort of like a nice spin to it. I'd say it. I think the main thing with these episodes, and I think I was excited more about this than the actual story, really, is seeing the TARDIS team, as they like to call themselves, as opposed to the story, really. And I think that's with tonight's episode as well. Obviously, we don't obviously know. We think it's going to be like a base under siege story, what we know so far. But I feel more excited to sort of see the characters than the stories. I'd say visually, I think that the spiders were brilliantly executed. Obviously, the new post-production team done a stellar job with the special effects. Nice blend of practical and special effects. I'd say the story itself. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was amazing. And obviously, then the final nail in the coffin was obviously the resolution, which wasn't really a resolution. Obviously, I don't know what happened. Like, will the spiders get out of there? Will they just stay in there and die? We don't know. So it really was a sort of mixed bag of stuff. I don't know if I'm not too. Is this well the 4 episodes we've had so far? I don't know if this one or Ghost Monument sort of last place for me. I'm sort of just trying to. I sort of rewatch them back to back, but again, like Philip said, I'm not in a rush to kind of rewatch it. That episode 4. But obviously tonight we have episode 5, which is the something conundrum. I'm just saying
the T. So I think it. So just say it. I haven't got it in front of me, so I don't know what it actually says now. But don't pronounce the T, and I think you got it.
Yeah.
Sangram or something like that.
The Tangerine Conundrum.
Tangerine Conundrum.
Yeah. The syringe. It's a real tongue twister. What do you two think of what we've seen so far of the episodes? I'll say these next time trailers and the trailers in general. I feel I've done this conversation about him actually. I feel like Chris Chibnall has had like a talk and they've gone like, look, we need to. He probably thought, I want to get rid of the next time trailers. And somebody's gone, well, no, we need to have the next time trailers to like promote the series. And I feel like if they've sort of met in the middle and just been like, right, we're going to give them like a real sort of like basic trailers. But what other stuff you've seen? What are your thoughts on tonight's episodes? Are you excited? Not excited?
It's really hard to tell. He doesn't want to give anything away, does he, Chris Chibnall? It's really hard to tell. I mean, what do we know? They're in a hospital. They are possibly ill and in the future, and there's a pregnant man. I think that's about all we know, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. And Doc Brown, the comedian Ben Bailey Smith's in it.
Yeah,
as a guest star. I want to know because what I've been doing. Hang on, I'll come back. I've been like going back to that coming soon trailer. I was telling Reese this at the end of episode 1 and taking everyone off who we've seen so far. So like, we've seen Art Malik already. We've seen Vinette Robinson already. So I sort of just, and then I'm just like, who we've left to see? And also, it's just kind of fun thinking, they look like they're going to be in this episode, or that person looks like it's going to be in that episode. So I've just been having fun, really experimenting, just be like, right, so who have we seen, who we've not seen, and who we got to look forward to. I'm like Alan Cummings in the series, Lee Mack, like I think also with that trailer. At the end, like my mum was like, that actress is in it, or that actor's in it. Quite a few like shockers that but also for us, because I guess we never knew like who the guest stars really were in this series. But so I know this is like a point made for like episode 1, but I thought it was kind of a fun trailer.
Yeah, it's a weird one because usually when they do stuff with like that, they usually put that at the end as like a quick little thing, don't they? Like they show you obviously a bit of the story in that. It was a really yeah, it's a quite unique trailer for. What did you think of that trailer, Philip, when you first watched it?
Well, the guest stars one.
Yeah.
I thought it was very. I don't think anybody was expecting a trailer like that because it's just there wasn't. All you're getting is it was. I don't know what to think about it. Actually, it was at the time I was just like, oh, is that all we're getting? Okay, just a few people staring at screen and a few names, and yeah, I knew some of them. I didn't know all of them, and yeah, there were a few nice surprises in there, but it didn't really get me excited. It just left me a bit confused, to be honest. Like, oh, are we not getting a proper trailer?
Yeah, there's a bit like a like 70s sitcom like show call, wasn't it? It was like, oh, there you go. Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. We've covered everything. Just look at the comments quickly, see what people have said. Awesome Source Film says the space-time rotor is located in some tiny compartment in the console. Was actually, according to lore, located in the central column. There you go. Somebody knows their stuff. There's a few people in here saying how they really didn't like the spiders, like as a sort of like a arachnophobic. They sort of found it really scary. So I'd say I quite don't mind spiders. So, but I imagine it can be really horrible for watch. I'd love to watch it with somebody who was scared of spiders. It'd be quite cruel, but
yeah. Another person, like I mentioned my daughter, but my wife chose not to watch it because she doesn't like spiders, so she chose not to watch that episode.
yeah. I usually we watched the episodes with my family, and they've been trying to put it off, I think. so it's like, okay, but you have to watch it at some point. So that's pretty much it, I think. Thank you everybody for watching today's live stream. Hope everybody enjoys tonight's episode. I say thank you to Adam Mahuvian for joining me.
My pleasure.
Go subscribe to him, and of course, thank you very much for Philip. He's had an awesome first live stream. Hope it's been okay for you.
Thanks for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
My pleasure. Yeah. Let's say links in the description for both the channels. Let's say Philip's just some awesome reviews and vlog stuff. So check them out. So yeah, have you guys got any closing thoughts, or just send off?
No, just looking forward to tonight's episode. See what.
Here's the tangerines.
And on that note, yeah, so thank you very much for watching, and I hope to take you next time for our review for episode 5, which will probably be sometime in the week. So as I say, we hope you enjoyed tonight's episode, and we'll see you on the other side. So bye bye.
Bye bye.